What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark, MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I want to talk about something the Lord made. This movie just turned 20 last year, in 2024, so it just celebrated an anniversary. I wasn't paying attention when I was doing anniversary releases to TV movies. I'm just gonna be real honest, but I'm glad because when I was looking for films that I wanted to have for Black History Month, I love this movie. I think it's one of the best TV movies I've ever seen. And this immediately came across my mind. I was like, oh, what about something the Lord made? Does it have audio description? Oh, thank God it does. Like, I was so happy to be able to watch this for this month. It's such a beautiful film, such a well done movie from HBO back when they were really just kicking out these movies. You know, there was no Max, there was just HBO, and they made really quality originals that felt like uh, truly like you were on par with a cinematic experience often, you know? Not like you were staying at home and watching Netflix's movie of the week where you're like, who's in this? Scott Foley? Let's get this away from me. Um, no, this is Alan Rickman. This is Mos Def, who now goes by a different name. I cease to. I keep thinking of him as Mos Def, and it's like Yasmin Bey. Did I get that? Did I get it right? And Gabrielle Union, Charles S. Dutton's in this, Mary Stuart Masterson, Kira Sedgwick. And it's just a great movie. So before I dive in, click like and subscribe because everyone else is running away from DEI right now. And as a blind person, obviously, I benefit from that because I'm talking about audio description and accessibility and trying to further those things for people like me from my perspective. And if companies are shutting the door on me and shutting the door on audio description and accessibility and not moving forward on it because it's not cool to do so anymore, the only way to do that is to put pressure. And I don't know if you saw the subscribers for my channel. I don't quite have the numbers where they care too much. So subscribers, I need them. But Something the Lord Made is based on a true story of how like the uh, they're looking at doing like heart transplants for babies. You know what I'm saying? And the idea is it's something like the blue heart or something like that. So for fixing heart problems for babies, and one of the things that they sort of revolutionize here is in the stitching of the heart. And the value that comes out of the story is the real world uh, thing that happened is that this team figured out how to um, do a heart surgery with stitches in the heart so that way uh, when the child grows and the heart continues to grow because you know you as you age as a child, like if you're doing heart surgery on a baby, um, your heart will continue to grow. I shouldn't have to explain this kind of stuff, but and then the stitches won't tear, and that's one of the things that they figure out in here and sort of revolutionizes how that procedure goes on. But it's also a privileged white doctor, Alan Rickman, who sees something in a young black man played by Mos Def. I'm going to continue to call him Mos Def because I don't know, I'm just old school and I just have always known him as Mos Def. Um, it's just so much easier. Uh, and He sees a lot in this young man and asks him and fights for him to be in all of the rooms, which was really great. You talk about like opening a door for people and letting people in. Oh, that's what he does. And there's also it even touches on there's a conversation where they find that there's a female doctor and like Mos's character whose name is I forgot it. I'm sorry. So I'm just gonna keep calling him Mos Def. He there's a female doctor, and he notices that she's the only one, and he's like, I noticed you're the only female doctor here, you know. So it harkens back to a time when a lot of people weren't allowed in a lot of spaces, and kept out of spaces, which is kind of a great message for DEI programs, because people are kind of smashing them to the ground. And a lot of that was to sort of curb sort of what rooms look like, you know, that rooms sort of were populated entirely by white men systematically over the course of time, or tokenism. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, we have our black guy and we have our woman. We're good, right? Art is no, that's tokenism. No, actual diversity looks broader than that. It has a range. And it's not saying that you're helping unqualified candidates. It's just making a concerted effort to look at people who you would not normally look at otherwise. That's what this is. And I don't know why that's a problem, you know. So when people would most likely not look at somebody like me for a job, a company with a DEI initiative would, because they would realize that there might be something that I could bring to the table from my perspective that's a little bit different, and offer them fresh perspective, instead of a lot of people who stand around you and just sort of have the same idea and just say yes. And then why did my company ever change? Why don't we ever go anywhere? And it's like, I don't know, because everybody has the same homogenized opinion on everything. So change happens because Alan Rickman's character opens up the door to change. And therefore they make a breakthrough in a field largely due to the fact that somebody was smart enough to go, hey, why don't we do something different for a change? And that's what I love about this movie. And the performances are great. The late Alan Rickman is amazing in this. Mos Def is great, fantastic. Can't remember if he won awards for this. I hope he did. I should have looked that up before the review. I apologize. Both of those actors deserve awards. Obviously, Alan has sort of the, like, everybody knows I'm a good actor vibe to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you pair like a classical trained actor with sort of like a new up and coming actor, it's like everybody knows the old dude can act. He's not that old in here, but I mean, he is. And the young guy is the one who is the, ooh, look, it's a young person who can act. So it's that kind of dynamic. And at the end of the day, I think it's Mos Def who you remember from this movie, and his performance. It's always been the movie that I remember when I think about him and his career as an actor and what he's capable of and the kind of roles that he could take on. I don't see him as much anymore. I don't know if, like, what he's acting or what he's doing, or I feel like I haven't seen Yasmin Bey in a movie. But that's unfortunate, because he showed the world here that he's a really great actor. It's something that not everybody's been able to do. A lot of crossover artists haven't been able to do this. I don't think that there's not a role from like Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg where we can point to and be like, man, they're heartbreaking in this role. They're so good. Their acting is just, man, you know? But, I mean, do they sell tickets? Sure. I mean, they have plenty of fun roles, but they don't have what Most has, which is dramatic brevity. And I think that's what makes Something the Lord Made work. So if you haven't seen Something the Lord Made, you should. It's on Max. It has audio description. It's really good audio description. It's done by Zoo Digital. It acknowledges race. It's not one of those. I was worried. I was like, oh man, it's a film that it's about race. Going to not acknowledge it? No, it acknowledges it. So you know which character is which, because obviously racism will play a factor in this movie. I know that's shocking to hear for a movie that was set during a time when the Equal Rights Amendment hadn't actually happened or existed, and we were still sending certain people to certain places and having different facilities and all those kind of things. And there are white men who didn't want to share spaces with black men. All that's covered in this movie. Those fuckers. So that's here. It's historically accurate and important. So I'm giving something the Lord made an A. I would have given that. I would have recommended it even without a rewatch. I think I've seen this movie twice already. It's probably my third time. I do love this movie, and I think it's a standout from HBO over the years. So I'm really happy that it's on HBO with audio description. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Remember, inclusivity is not a bad word. Neither are diversity and equity. None of those are bad words, but for some reason they're being treated as them. See you guys on the other side.